This is part 2 of the bunny. We'll make and attach the ears. Let's get to work. Let's start making ears. Switch to hook 4.5mm. The ears also serve as the carrot in the final toy, so keep that in mind when choosing the yarn color. Alright, let's get to work. Start with a chain of 5 stitches. Make a half double crochet in the second chain from a hook and mark this stitch in a specific way. Let's make it again, and I will show you how to put a marker. Place the marker into the half double crochet, but position it around the chain, rather than at the top of the stitch, as we usually do. Complete half double crochet. Let's make it again. Yarn over, insert the hook, yarn over again. And now place marker. Of course, you can place a marker after the stitch is finished. I'm doing it this way only to make it clear. You can also do like this. So once the stitch is finished, insert marker into this half double crochet. Placing these markers is very important and will make the work a lot easier later on. Do not remove them until it is clearly indicated in the instructions. Okay, so the first row is ready. Now simply follow the pattern. Okay, so I've just finished row number 26. As it's written in the pattern, I need to mark this row. Don't put marker on the edge because we will work on this edge, so it will be on our way. Just put it somewhere close to the edge. Put a marker on the other side. You are not going to use these markers at this stage of the year, but they will be beneficial later. So just continue until you get to the end of the ear. So I've finished the ear, cut off the yarn, and secured it by fastening off. Following the pattern, we need to mark the 2 outermost stitches in the last row. So this one. And the last stitch, so this one. Now we are going to prepare zipper to attach it to the ears. We need about 1 meter of a zipper, already with the slider on it. The zipper should be as close in color as possible to the color of the ears, because the teeth will be visible in the final toy. You also need embroidery floss, which should also be in the color of the ears. Pointy needle. A fine tip marker, or basically any marker that will stay on the fabric. And a measuring tape. You can also use a ruler, but the tape will definitely be more convenient. If you have adhesive tape, it can also make your work easier, but it is not required. Our task is to mark 1 centimeter sections on the zipper. Lay the zipper flat on the table. If you are using a measuring tape, it's best to work at the edge of the table where you can attach the end of the tape. Place the measuring tape along the zipper, overlapping it slightly. During the process, we will mark the zipper on both sides of the teeth. As you can see, there's a line on the zipper where its structure changes. It's here. It is easiest to place the dots along this line. If your zipper doesn't have this line, just place the dots about 2 to 3 millimeters above and below the teeth. So let's start. Lay the zipper flat, put the measuring tape along it. You can also use adhesive tape to ensure that the zipper doesn't move. You don't have to start right at the edge, you can start somewhere close to it, like I'm doing now. Now we will be marking the zipper with dots, 1 centimeter apart from each other. As you go, mark the dots on both sides. It will be much quicker this way. You don't have to be super precise here. It can be 11 millimeters, it can be 9 millimeters. It will be still fine. Continue like this until you get to the end of the zipper. Okay, so once we have finished marking the zipper, we can attach floss to the zipper. To do so, you need to prepare a pointing needle and also about 3 meters of the floss. Secure it with a knot. The process is super easy. Just put the needle into the first dot, like that. Pull the floss through the zipper. Next, go into the second dot. Pull the floss through. Be careful not to twist it. Then insert the needle into the next unworked dot. Pull throughout the yarn. Now we will be repeating these 2 steps. I will show you. Considering the dot from which the floss emerges as the base, insert the needle into the previous dot and come out of the next unworked dot. Pull the floss through. And again, insert the needle in the previous dot and come out in the next unworked dot. Pull the floss through. Don't twist it. Repeat like this until the end of the zipper. When you're finished, repeat the process for the dots on the other side of the zipper teeth. Once we have attached the floss on both sides of the zippered teeth, we can move on to the next section, where we will attach the ears to the zipper. We need the zipper, both ears, some markers, yarn, the same that we used for the ears, and a hook. 5mm would be the best one. If you don't have 5mm, 4.5 would be still fine. In that case, you just need to make the loops a bit looser. You will see what I mean in a second. Grab the zipper like this, so the slider facing you and the slider is on top, as you can see. Take the yarn, attach the yarn to the hook. Grab the zipper. First, we are going to make 4 slip stitches only in the zipper loops. Insert the hook under the first loop that we've made on the zipper. Yarn over, pull the yarn through the zipper loop and make a slip stitch. Always insert the crochet hook, directing it from the side of the zippered teeth outward. The second slip stitch. Third slip stitch. And the last slip stitch, made only in the zipper loop. I started in the first loop of the zipper. You don't have to start exactly here. You can start in the second or third if this is more convenient for you for any reason. So I made first 4 slip stitches. And now I'm going to attach the ear to the zipper. Take one of the ears. It doesn't matter which one because both are the same. Start at the top where 4 markers are attached. This is very important. Don't mistake the top with the bottom of the ear. insert the hook under the zipper loop the same way as before. Once you're here, then we know this is the loop where we're going to attach the ear. Mark a loop that is parallel to the one we are going to work now, so parallel to the one where we inserted the hook. So this one, it will be helpful later. Now back to the ear. So we have the hook and the zipper loop, and we're inserting the hook into one of the two outer marked stitches. Yarn over, pull through the marked stitch and the loop, and make a slip stitch. Make sure that the loop on the hook is not too tight, especially if you work with 4.5mm hook instead of 5mm, and ensure that the working loop is loose and relaxed, reaching at least halfway to the next loop of the zipper. If the loop is tight, the surface of the zipper will be compressed, and the final effect will be bumpy. If it's too tight, switch to a larger hook or adjust by pulling the yarn slightly. Again, let's make another stitch. Insert the hook under the next unworked loop of the zipper, exactly as before. From now on, we will be working along the edge of the ear by inserting the hook under any visible strand of yarn along the edge. The shape of the float strand of yarn is not important, only their placement. So we will be working in this edge. Make sure to work under a strand of yarn that is positioned as parallel as possible to the zipper loop you are going to work in. So we are going to work in this loop now. So this strand seems to be the most parallel. Let's try. Insert the hook into the zipper loop, then into ear. Yarn over, pull through the ear and the zipper loop, and make a slip stitch. Let's make a few more stitches together. I will do it more slowly on purpose, so that you can see that you can make a stitch under practically any strand. Don't overthink which strand to choose. Make it intuitive along the way. The effect will be perfect, I promise. Just make sure that the loop on the hook is loose and relaxed. After a few stitches, you'll get the hang of it, and the process will become really quick. As you can see, no matter which shape of the strand you choose, stitches turn out perfectly neat. One more thing you can do to make the process easier. After making few joining slip stitches, secure the ear and zipper with pins. I changed the color of the ear, but ignore this change. Pin the ear to the zipper. Make sure that the loops of the zipper remain visible. Work on one side first. Once you finish the joining process of the first side of the ear, secure the second half of the ear. I am finishing one side and I've almost reached the bottom of the ear. Let's make a few more stitches together. So as you can see, I've reached the bottom of the ear, marked with 2 markers. Next slip stitch would be in a marked stitch, so I am marking parallel loop on the zipper, the same as I did on top. I also know that the next marked stitch is 3 stitches further, because at the bottom we have 4 stitches and one we've just marked. So I can also mark this loop. These 2 loops are parallel to the loops that will be joined with the marked stitches. So let's make the first slip stitch at the bottom. You can remove this marker. Make 3 more slip stitches at the bottom. And the last one, the 4th slip stitch at the bottom. You can also remove the marker. Continue making slip stitches until the top of the ear. Exactly the same as we did on the first half. Remember to secure the zipper and the ear with pins. Work until you get to the second outer marker on the top of the ear. As you can see, I've almost reached the top marker. So I'm making 1 more slip stitch. I think these 2 will be the perfect match. So this would be my last stitch that connects the zipper to the ear, right here. I'm doing the same thing as I made on the opposite side. I know I am going to work in this loop, so I am marking loop parallel to that one. They are parallel. Let's make the final joining slip stitch. Under the zipper loop, and into the outer marked stitch of the ear. Leave both markers. It's very important. I'm finishing the same way I've started, so with 4 slip stitches, making them only in the zipper loops. 1 is made. The second one. Third. And the last one. Okay, you can cut off the yarn and fasten off. So the first ear is finished. Leave all the markers that are attached. Before attaching the second ear to the zipper, we need to adjust the placement of the ears relative to each other, using the markers placed on the zipper in the previous steps. Start with the tops of both ears, so where 4 markers are attached. Do not mistake them with the bottom side, where 2 markers are attached. Don't worry about the loose ends here, we will get rid of them later. This is the loop, where we are going to attach the outer top stitch of the second ear. Attach the first marker violet to the marked loop of the zipper. You can remove the zipper marker yellow. This way, we are sure that we will attach the second ear to the zipper at exactly the same height as the first ear was attached. Okay, let's go further. And here is the very important moment. So we are doing absolutely the same. On the second ear, we have 2 marked stitches. We also mark these 2 loops on the zipper. Attach the 2 markers located at the ear to the marked loops on the zipper. Attach the second marker. Remove the markers that are attached only to the zipper. And the last attachment point is at the tops of the ears. So we are going to attach the second ear to this loop. Attach the outer marker of the ear to the marked loop on the zipper. Let's attach the second ear with the yarn. Attach the yarn to 5mm hook. And now we start with the second end. So not the end with the slider, as we did before. We are starting with the end without the slider. We know that we've made 4 stitches only in the zipper before we started joining stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Here is our first stitch where we should start. We are doing this exactly the same way as we did for the first ear. Guiding the hook from the side of the zipper teeth outward. Make 4 slip stitches. Second slip stitch. Third. And fourth. I've made 4 stitches, so the 5th stitch will be the joining one. Insert the hook into the zipper loop, then into the marked stitch of ear. Sew here. Yarn over, pull through, and make a slip stitch. Leave the marker. Make another stitch. It would be easier in a second, I promise. Let's make like 2 more and we will secure the ears with the pins. Exactly the same way as we did with the first ear. And the last one, 4th joining slip stitch. Like this. Now we are sure that the ears are attached to the zipper at the same height. After making 4 to 5 joining stitches, secure the fabric in the zipper with pins, exactly the same way as we did for the first ear. You can fold the zipper like this. I found it easier to place pins this way. And 1 more here. Okay. If you want, you can pin the entire ear at once. You don't have to divide this process into halves as before. Start at the top and finish at the top of the ear. Okay, once I secured the fabric, I can start to work exactly the same way as I worked with the first ear. Sew under the loop. Under the most convenient strand of yarn at the edge of the ear. And just make a slip stitch. Continue like this around the entire ear. Finish the second ear exactly the same way as you did the first one. So the last joining slip stitch is in the marked stitch. You can detach the zipper if the marker gets in the way, but leave the marker in the ear. Make the last joining slip stitch. Now make 4 slip stitches only in the zipper loops. Cut off the yarn and fasten off. Now we need to define the right and left ear. Spread the ears, but do not separate them. The slider needs to stay on the zipper. Lay the ears flat on a table, the unfinished side, so the unfinished edge where the zipper is still visible should be at the bottom, like this. And when you look at them like this, the left ear is on the left side, and the right ear is on the right side. We will start the attachment process with the left ear. You can mark it just to know that this is the ear we will start with. I've finished the last row of Bunny's head. As you can see, the body and head are stuffed, eyes are attached, and the muzzle is shaped. To attach ears to the bunny, of course, we need both ears and the bunny itself. Take the ears, and what is very important, switch again to the 4mm hook. We also need one marker, and the yarn of the same color as we used to create ears. Okay, so first let's start with the bunny. Before we attach the ears, we need to adjust the round beginning. Find the most central stitch on the bunny's forehead, in the last row that we've made. In my case, I think it would be this one. Mark this central stitch, including the stitch. Count 6 stitches clockwise. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. This is the 6th stitch, and it's going to be the new round beginning. Shift the round marker to correct position. Make required number of adjustment stitches to get to this new round beginning. So we need to make the last stitch here. Remember to change the color for the ear color in the last stitch. The first stitch and the second one. I need to change the color to the color of the ear. I've made 2 adjustment stitches. In your case, it can be different number. I've reached the new round beginning. Leave it like this. Remove the hook, hide, and secure the loose ends inside the head. And in next step, we will pin the ears. Okay, now grab the ears. Unzip them, but be careful. Don't separate them completely. The slider must stay on the zipper. Like this. First, we will pin the left ear to the stitches on the left side of the head. Remember, unfinished side of the ear is at the bottom. According to the pattern, the round marker is in the first stitch, and we leave it that way. Attach the first stitch of the left ear to the second stitch of the head. The second stitch of the ear to the third stitch of the head. Next one to the fourth stitch of the head. And the fifth stitch of the head is the last attachment point for the left ear. We've reached the sixth stitch of the head, so the middle stitch, just skip it. Make sure that the zipper is not twisted, like mine. So let's start attaching the right ear. The right ear will be attached sequentially to the 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th stitches of the head. The last one. The final result will look like this. Ears are unzipped. Unfinished edge is inside. The slider is at the back of the head. And we are ready to attach the ears with the yarn. So at this point, ears should be attached to the head with markers. Make sure that you've changed ear color in the last round. We are almost ready to start the first round of attaching the ears with the yarn. Remove the hook for a second. Slide the zipper slightly down. Below headstop. It doesn't matter how far you will go, just make sure it's below the head's top. Now separate the two parts of the zipper. Don't worry, the zipper will remain connected through the slider. For now, just keep the ears like this. We are starting the attachment round with one single crochet. Remove the round marker. Make one single crochet. With the second single crochet, we will make the first stitch that joins the head and the ears. Keep the yarn under the zipper. Like this under the zipper. And the loop with the hook above the zipper. Insert the hook into the stitch of the ear. And into corresponding attached stitch of the head. Yarn over, pull through both stitches and make a single crochet. This way we trap the zipper. You can remove the marker. Let's work in the next stitch. For you it would be the second stitch. For me it's the third one, as I already made the second one. Nevertheless, the second and the third stitch you are doing exactly the same. Insert the hook into the stitch of the ear and corresponding stitch of the head. Remove the marker. Yarn over, pull through the head and the ear and make a single crochet. And the last one. Don't worry if you have any gaps here. Like this here. We will work on this later. Insert the hook into the last stitch of the ear and into head stitch. Yarn over, pull through and make a single crochet. When finished, remove the marker. The next stitch, so the stitch number 6, will be made only in the head. As before, keep the yarn under the zipper. So like this. Keep the working loop with the hook above the zipper. Again, we have to trap the zipper. Insert the hook only into the stitch of the head. Yarn over, pull through and make a single crochet. As you can see, the zipper is trapped. Now we are going to attach the right ear. So again, keep the working loop above the zipper. Keep the yarn under the zipper. Insert the hook into the first stitch of the right ear. Then into the head stitch. Remove marker. And make a single crochet. The zipper is trapped. Work the same way for the remaining stitches of the right ear, and we'll meet at the end of this round. Be careful. Don't mistake the working yarn with the loose ends. We've finished all single crochets in the right ear, and now we are going to make one more single crochet in the first stitch of this round. Remove the round marker for a second. Put the yarn under the zipper and keep the hook above the zipper. So we are doing this exactly the same way as we did before. We are going to make one more single crochet in the first stitch we've already made in this round. So here, where the round marker was, and now the attachment round is finished. Put the marker in the stitch you've just made. Sorry, I forgot to do this on the video. Now you can close the zipper by pulling it up and down. Now we are going to secure the zipper. You can use a piece of any thread. It will be invisible in final project. About 30 centimeters will be just right. Simply make few loops around the teeth of the zipper, just above the last round of stitches. Make 4 or 5 loops like this. Don't worry about the aesthetic aspect. The thread will be invisible. When you finish, cut off the yarn and make a knot. Do this for both ends of the zipper. When the zipper ends are secured, hide them inside the head. If you feel that the zipper is too long, you can simply cut it off. Now is also the time to add more stuff into the head, if needed. When the ends of the zipper and loose ends of the yarn are tucked in, we can start the final row. Put the loop on the 4mm hook. Remove the round marker permanently, and simply follow the pattern, making the closing round of the head. Every time you make a stitch in this round, mark the front loop of the stitch. These markers will be helpful later. At the end of this round, we will have 6 stitches in total. All front loops should be marked. When you finish, cut off the yarn leaving 40cm tail and fasten off. Thread the needle. Close the gap using inner loops only. Leave the front loops as they are. Leave the markers. Once you finish, pull the yarn tightly but carefully to avoid breaking it. Hide the loose end inside the head. Now we are going to finish the inner edge of the ear. Prepare a 5mm hook and attach the yarn in the ear's color, leaving a 30cm tail. Put the bunny like this, so its muzzle facing you. Insert the hook into the very first loop of the zipper, as close as possible to the central stitch, guiding the hook from the muzzle toward the teeth of the zipper. Let's try even closer. Yarn over, pull through the loop, and make a single crochet. From now on, we are going to work in the places where two loops overlap, and I will call it double loop. I will show you examples of double loop. If you miss any double loop or work in a single loop, don't worry, you don't have to be very precise at this stage. These small mistakes will be invisible in the final project. So let's make another single crochet in a double loop. After making 2 single crochets, start working half double crochets into each of the next double loops. Continue half double crochets till you get to the marked row in the ear. If you forgot to attach the markers earlier, just stop at approximately 2/3 of the ear's height. Let's make a few more stitches together. So as you can see, each time I'm inserting the hook under 2 overlapping threads, or as I call it, under double loop. The stitches should be rather loose. Okay, so I've almost reached the row where we put the markers. One more half double crochet to make. As I said, it doesn't have to be super precise. Starting from this marked row, stop making only half double crochets and switch to alternating between half double crochet and half double crochet increase. It doesn't matter whether you start this pattern change with a half double crochet or a half double crochet increase. Just as it doesn't matter if you start exactly in the marked row's loop or in a slightly higher or lower loop. All these deviations will be invisible in the final project. Continue this alternating pattern until you reach the second marker on the ear. As you can see, I've just reached the second marker. As soon as you pass the marker, resume making single half double crochets all the way across. Continue until you reach the top of the bunny's head. We will meet again somewhere here, and I will show you the transition to the second ear. I've almost reached the top of the ear. Looks like I can make 2 more half double crochets. If you see that there's still space for more stitches, but no double loops left, make the stitch in a single loop. No big deal, just make sure the entire zipper is covered. Okay, we are ready for the transition. Gently remove the hook. As you can see, there's this brown stitch on Bunny's head. This is the stitch we've made to attach ears to the body. This one, to be precise, this is a part of the stitch called a post, but let's keep it simple and call it the stitch. Insert the hook into the stitch. Then back into the working loop. Yarn over. And pull the yarn through both the loops. Make a slip stitch. And this way, we've ended up on the other side of the ear. Work the second ear exactly the same way as you did the right ear. So the first half double crochet in the first double loop. Continue until you reach the top of the bunny's head on the other side. Remember to change the pattern once you get to the marked row. I almost got to the top of the ear. I see I'd have place for 2 more stitches. So remember to make 2 single crochets instead of half double crochets at the end. When you finish, cut off the yarn, leaving 30 cm tail, and fasten off. Now we have to secure and hide the yarn. Insert the hook into the central stitch on bunny's head. Yarn over the loose end. Pull the end through the central stitch. Make the same for the second loose end. See how nice it looks? At this stage, we have 2 options. You can immediately hide the ends inside the head, or you can use these ends to sew up any gaps that may have formed at the top of the ear. Now I will show you how to deal with these gaps. Thread one end onto the needle and insert the needle in stitches. Let's try this way. Do not insert the needle into the spaces between stitches, as this will make the gaps larger. Insert into the stitch itself. Let's go like this. Guide the yarn in a way that it covers any potential gaps. The way the yarn flows will be invisible. This is the magic of this fluffy yarn. Okay, and the last gap. Let's go into this stitch. And maybe here. All gaps are closed in an invisible way. Okay, and when you finish, just go to the top of the head. And hide the end inside the bunny's head. Using the same method, wave in all loose ends in bunny's ear. Go into stitches not between the stitches. Make this for all loose ends. You can also use a crochet hook. Trim the excess yarn. The ears are ready. You can finally tuck the bunny into the carrot. The finished ears look like this. If you look very closely, the edge of the zipper is still visible. In my opinion, this does not detract from the bunny's appearance. But if it bothers you, we can hide the zipper in one of two ways. You can simply use any textile glue, applying it with a brush or spatula. Just follow the instructions for your glue. Apply glue to the zipper on both sides. And press down. You can apply glue along the entire edge or simply in a few spots as you prefer. And now I will show you the second method. You will need scissors and a lighter. Grab the zipper and cut it, leaving about 3 millimeters. Be careful not to cut the connection between the zipper and the ear. Now seal the edge of the zipper to prevent it from fraying. Use the flame of the lighter for this. Hold the flame near, but not directly on the zipper. Keep the lighter moving. The edge of the zipper will melt slightly, securing it from fraying. Don't worry, I've used this method on 3 bunnies already, and they all survive. However, for safety reasons, do not use glue and fire simultaneously. Some glues may be highly flammable. As you can see, the zipper is invisible. Now let's attach leaves to the carrot. Prepare 4 millimeter hook and attach the green yarn to it. Take your bunny. Pick one of these marked loops. Doesn't matter which one. I like to start at the back. Insert the hook into this marked loop and make a slip stitch. Now, following the pattern, make a chain of 23 stitches. I didn't show this in the video, but along the way mark the 7th stitch. Now, when you have 23 stitches of the chain and 1 slipped stitch at the bottom, turn your work 180 degrees. Start in the 2nd chain from the hook and make half double crochet increases in next 10 stitches. Be careful not to twist the chain. Okay, so I've made 10 increases of half double crochet. So following the pattern, make half double crochet in next 3 stitches. The last half double crochet. Now 1 single crochet and a slip stitch. Now we will create the 2nd branch, in other words, a 2nd chain that extends from the 1st main chain. Still working with the same working loop, make chain of 10 stitches. Once you make the chain, turn your work. Starting in the 2nd chain from the hook, make half double crochet increase in the next 5 stitches. Then half double crochet in next 2 stitches, 1 single crochet and slip stitch. And we have the second branch ready. And now we are making slip stitches in the main chain until we get to the bottom. If you put the marker before, you would start making slip stitches in this marked stitch. If all is correct, you should make 7 slip stitches along the chain. If this number doesn't match, but the branch looks good, don't change anything, just continue making the leaves. Small differences in the stitch count will be unnoticeable here and won't affect the overall pattern. And we are going to finish this pair of leaves in the next marked loop, going counterclockwise, so this one. Insert the hook, biting it from the center of the head outward. That was the loop we began with. And this is the next loop, going counterclockwise. Yarn over, pull through, and make a slip stitch. The first pair of leaves is ready. Remove both markers from the loops we worked into. Insert the hook into the next marked loop and make a slip stitch. Now simply follow the pattern, repeating the same steps as you did when creating the first pair of leaves. I am finishing the third pair of leaves. So I need to attach them to the last marked stitch. Make a slip stitch. Remove markers. And just to close this circle, make one more slip stitch somewhere at the bottom of the first branch. Cut the yarn, leaving 30 cm tail. Fasten off. Thread the yarn. Working into back loops, only close the gap. Gently pull the yarn and hide the end inside the head. Well done. You've just finished second part. Now let's jump into embroidery section.